4 weeks later, I got an airplane ticket, went to New York. I was working for Weiss and Maybach, Nathan Weiss, the lawyer who brought the Beatles. Him and Sid Bernstein, Brian Epstein, they were responsible for the Beatles.
Yeah, sure.
And 2 months after that, I was in London riding around in a Daimler limousine.
Wow.
The life of rock star, Rolls Royce, and working for Columbia Records.
Were you pinching yourself, or what was
I didn't know what to do. I was just blown the hell away.
What was happening? Yeah.
What a blessing,
Yeah, of course.
And eating dinner with George Martin every night. And one thing I want people to know about George Martin and Michael Tilson Thomas and all those guys out of London, they treated me royally. I mean, it's like Jeff Beck would pick me up every night and ride me around to different spots, and just Harvey Goldsmith, all of the big shot London guys.
But you're a guy from Detroit.
Right.
And
East side.
The east side of Detroit. And so was there anything said about that at all? This guy's from Detroit. What does he know? There's New York, there's stuff. LA, there's whatever. What was that all about?
Yeah, and they call me Yank. You're a long way from home for Yank.
Really?
That's the Sussex over here. What? And they were just nice people.
Yeah.
British people are very nice people. They have manners, and they have a great how can I say it? Love for culture.
Did the Motown backdrop have any influence with any of this?
Yes, they loved that I could play that. Matter of fact, I sound a lot like James Jamerson at that time. I was playing real bassy. I never could play. I wasn't playing nothing like that. I was, playing more basic.
Right.
Like when I say basic, I meant bass violin concepts and approach to the instrument.
So this is a fretless instrument. So
yes,
for
this
our
is a
public.
Corvette.
And so your influence, though, from the fretless attitude comes from your ability to play
double bass.
The double bass.
That's right.
So you switched from double bass to electric bass. When?
Yes.
When did that happen?
It's fun. I can tell you exact year. It's amazing. In 1967, I received my first electric bass. And you know what's funny about it? It's the same doggone bass I'm playing today. It was a Framus Warwick from Germany.
No kidding.
Guess what? My father got the bass from Siemens Pawn Shop.
Oh my gosh!
I wish I had it because it was a oh God, the name of it a Star bass, and it's in the catalog, in the Warwick catalog.
Yeah.
Yep, a Star bass.
That's amazing.
Yep, and this cream was cream. I wish I had it. I wish I had it. They were worth a lot of money. But the neck at the time, everybody, the Fender.
Yeah.
So I traded it in on a Fender bass.
But bass, you're behind the scenes. You're in the back of the lineup. You're not there out in front like a guitarist or a saxophone player.
Well, that was back then, but not now.
Not now, right?
Not now.
Yeah. So, but to that end, why in the beginning would you have gone off to the bass? Because that was a different thing then, wasn't it? You're behind.
To a certain degree it was, but let me tell you something that's unusual about me, and this is a first for your network. No, I've never said this on any interview, ever.
Okay.
I played the guitar.
I didn't know that.
Yes, and I incorporate, right now I'm using, for this year, I'm going to be playing 6-string bass. I can play guitar concepts. And that's why I got into using distortion on a lot of those. John McLaughlin and John Lupine, I use a distortion device.
Okay.
And it sound like Jimi Hendrix.
There you go. I have to say that for me, starting out, not that this is about me, but I will. No, but I will say that the bass is as a rhythm instrument, it's totally significant in the lineup of what we do. But as a chording instrument, you can change the chord of almost any change. You can change the chord by the bottom, by what you do in the bottom. And I don't know if people know that concept, or our listeners will, but it's not something we can cover later on, maybe in another session.
But the bass is a religious instrument.
How do you figure that?
Well, it's documented. It's true. Gregorian chants were written for the bass.
Can you explain that?
Well, it's a viol. It goes back almost 400 years. It's the original instrument of the Catholic Church. This instrument, even though it's...
Wait a minute now. The bass is an original instrument?
The bass viol is the original instrument of the Catholic Church.
The upright bass?
It was called a violone. That's why it has a scroll, because it was made to pray with. This is a religious instrument.
I did not know
and
that.
Basses had 6 strings, and people always say, oh, you got too many strings. We've had 6-string basses, 7-string basses going back into the 1400s, like Giovanni Pablo Maggini, Brescia, 1660,
wow.
Italy, who was a pupil of Gaspare Desillo, Brescia, 1542. He died in 1609. He was a scientist. He made basses that were 10 feet tall. It would take, you could pull it, and I'd be on the ladder playing. Yes. So it's an interesting bass. It's a spiritual instrument. La 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 la. They would pray.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's a fascinating instrument. It's fascinating. Going back to Domenico Dragonetti, the great bassist, who was actually the first musical star. I call him, well, if you want to call him a rock star, he was born in Venice, 1763. He died in London in 1846. They called him Darko the Dragon. And he was so great. He also played with Beethoven, Ludwig van Beethoven.
Oh, really?
And if he didn't do an encore, they would trash the theater in Venice or Rome, wherever he played at. They would tear it up. He was like a rock star. Darko.
Wow.
Yeah, he's fascinating. All you bass players research him.
I have to tell you, I am just so amazed by your, what you have done in this city.
Oh, thank you.
But also your historical knowledge about your instrument.
That's from coming to CAS, going to CAS. They made us become intellectuals of the instrument. So you can converse. A lot of my friends, just like Joe Corrington, I just did a concert with him. He's one of the greatest classical bass players in the world. He's my friend. And we did a concert for Fedona University with one of my students, Kieran Hanlon, who's the head of the music department up there. And we could converse. We're talking about Gaspare Desillo, and we're playing jazz. He's playing all of the lead parts with the bow, and I'm walking like Ron Carter.
Wow.
But we can communicate because of my knowledge of the instrument.
Yeah.
We're friends, and it's an honor to be a friend of one of the greatest classical musicians in the world. He was principal of the London Symphony for over 10 years.
Wow.
Joel Corrington, he's a great master.
Speaking of London, you've been all over the world. I know you have.
Yes, isn't that something?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I feel it too.
Yeah.
All the airplanes.
Yeah, but you can you tell us about some of those? Well, all right. Let me ask you.
What do you want to ask me? Go ahead.
What's the most interesting? Can you say? I know that you've had a lot of interesting experiences, but is there any standouts for you in terms of your being involved overseas in meeting all these wonderful other musicians, whether it or domestically for that matter?
I've met Eleanor Pegay. He was another great. I'm going to classical realm. He's a great classical bass player from Budapest. But I met so many great jazz musicians over the years, and like Bob Cranshaw, excuse me, and one of my mentors, Buster Williams, who him and Ron, they nurtured me
Ron
as
Carter.
a kid. Yeah,
Yeah.
the two of them really did. And
Yeah.
one of the most famous musicians that took time with me, and I think he was so wonderful as a human being, was Ray Brown.
Oh, wow.
He spent a lot of time with me.
Really?
Yes, he did. He was a wonderful human being from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Ray Brown.
Oh,
great.
His
But
work
it's a
with Oscar Peterson.
Oh my God! And I learned. I never will forget. I was working for Gibson Guitars, and I walk into McCormick Place, and I heard somebody. I met Ray when he was Quincy Jones' manager.
Ray was?
Oh yeah, Ray's a businessman. Business.
I didn't know.
Those guys, him and Bernard Purdy, got me into the business realm of music. They, you gotta be a business person. So Ray Brown, I was walking into a McCormick Place in Chicago, and I heard somebody, "What the hell wrong with you, man? You can't speak?" I almost had a heart attack. It's Ray Brown sitting on his amp. I'm like, oh God, it's like seeing Jesus. Ray. And we hung out, and he's such a beautiful guy, and he was instrumental in developing the electronic transducer pickup for the bass. Ray Brown and Tommy Gamina invented the polytone pickup.
Wow.
He was instrumental in that. But you asked me about travels. I'm going to tell you this it's a funny story. And this is one of the great things about traveling. You're going to meet people that you never thought you would ever see or ever hear of. Istanbul, Turkey. About 6 years ago, I was with James Carter, and we played Istanbul. I need some water now. It's a beautiful city, Istanbul, Turkey.
I've been there, yeah, I know.
And we finished the concert. So they have a buffet out. And all of this great food. And this funny little character kept following me around. "I just like the way you play the bass, I just like the way you play the bass." I'm like, "Well, thank you." And he wouldn't leave me alone. He's kind of like being a damn pest. Kept pulling on me. "I want to tell you about me. You know who I am?" I say, "I know where you going if you'll leave me the hell alone." Kept pulling my hand. And finally, okay, I get by the chicken wings. So in Istanbul, they got great chicken wings. Okay. So this guy kept messing with me. And he says, "I want to let you know that I'm royalty." I said, "Look, I don't drink Crown Royal." I'm messing with him like it's a liquor. For those who don't know, it's whiskey.
Right.
So he kept, "I'm royalty, and I am the 12th generation." I say, "You with the fifth dimension." I said, "What you say?" He's a pain in the, excuse my word, pain in the ass.
That's all right. We're good.
And finally, "I just want to let you know that I am the 7th generation of Dracula."
Wow.
This cat came up to me and told me he was Dracula.
Really?
We checked him out, and his name is Hans Constantine. He does the Transylvanian Jazz Festival. He is related to Vlad the Impaler. He's Dracula's wife's blood. He's related to him.
No kidding.
And let me tell you something. You should have seen all these big black dudes talking about, "Man, I ain't going to Transylvania. I ain't going to Transylvania." Kenny Garrett, he went. We ain't seen him in a while.
Oh, my God.
Oh, it was so funny. So we get to Paris. After that, we go to Paris. And James Carter was mad as hell. I said, "What's wrong?" "Man, I saw your boy, man." I said, "Who?" "Dracula." He's trying to get all these musicians to go over there. But that's one of the great things about traveling. You never dreamed you would meet somebody that was related to Dracula. And also, case in point, the Turks are the ones who beheaded Dracula in Turkey. So he was, it all goes.
We're talking about mythical stuff? Or are we talking about real stuff?
Real and
this
factual.
Is real stuff?
Factual. They beheaded him and because Vlad the Impaler would cut I'm a history buff. He would cut Turkish heads off and put them on stakes in front of his castle.
Well,
so that would scare you from coming.
I just have to interrupt and say, as an Armenian, we've had a little bit of a problem with that.
Yes.
So
sorry about that.
I won't say anything more because we don't want to get into another subject.
But it's some some sick stuff.
Yeah. I gotta say, going from Dracula though to Castek to a 7-year-old kid who's just taking bass lessons or whatever, this is quite a trip, man.
I know. That's why I'm glad you had me here, Dan. I thank you for having me because it's good to have things documented in your life.
Yeah.
And these things really happen, and I've been so blessed to live the life I've lived, you know.
I should mention too that as a great, wonderful bass player, you have also a great, wonderful voice. Can you sing some blues going out here with your accompanying?
Hold it, okay. Look here.
I'm sorry to do this to you.
No, but that's cool because I have a song that I wrote.
Yeah.
And it's viral. It's still selling, and I own all of it. I own all the publishing, all the copyrights.
You. That's always good.
And the song is called Blue Mashed Potatoes.
Oh yeah.
I got a woman. She lives in a big mansion in Detroit, Michigan. She likes to cook me dinner at night. She likes to kiss and fight. Yeah, she does. But when I eat her food, she starts to look alright. Oh baby, please tell me why the mashed potatoes are blue. The more I eat, baby, the more I eat, pretty baby, I love you. The more I eat, I just love you. Blue mashed potatoes on Amazon and iTunes.
Wow. That's great. That's great. On Amazon and iTunes.
Yes, thank you very much.
That's great.
Support your local musicians. Support your international musicians. Support all musicians.
The great Ralphe Armstrong. I couldn't be more pleased and honored to have you here with us. Thank you. Thanks so much, Ralphe.
Thank you, and keep up the good work, Dan. We love you.
Thank you.